right, everyone. Hello and happy World Hearing Day. We're gathered here together on 3/3 to launch and celebrate Deaf Athletic. And who better to celebrate it with than our partner in ShipCalm? So thanks everybody for joining. We're going to have a really exciting, I think, far-reaching conversation. But before we get into all of that, with, of course, Dennis Heathfield, founder and CEO of Deaf Athletic, I want to introduce the other face on the screen, Brandon Hammermeister, head of growth at ShipCalm. Brandon, I really want to turn it over to you and hear the story of ShipCalm. But before we do, I want to read just a little bit of an intro to ground everybody in what it is you all do. And then, we would love to hear more of the story of how ShipCalm came to be and came to partner with Deaf Athletic. So ShipCalm is an e-commerce fulfillment and third-party logistics provider based in Southern California, and it helps businesses solve their shipping and warehouse challenges. And I know that it's a business grounded in core values and principles that Deaf Athletic shares as well. And I am excited to learn for myself more about this world you work within. I know that the world is only getting faster and more connected, which makes the work you do so important and very complex. And so without further ado, hello, Brandon, and welcome to our roundtable chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you, Claire and Dennis, to connect again. And thanks for just having me. I'm excited to talk about ShipCom, what we do, what we're all about, but most importantly, how we support brands like Deaf Athletic. And you kind of nailed it on the head when you said complex. We definitely are in the space of complexity. And as businesses we work with scale and grow, that complexity barriers, we call it, continues to expand, and that's where we step in. And that's where we can help brands, scale and take a lot of the operational challenges and a lot operational lift off their plate, from logistics, planning and coordination to supply chain management to inventory management, and a lot of few things in between that. So fundamentally, exactly what you said is we're a third-party logistics company, and we provide operational support to e-commerce brands globally, not just here in the United States, but we work with a lot of international brands as well. And we're looking to work with brands that are growing, that are scaling, and are trying to make an impact on the world. And so we kind of operate in three specific functions. So we have physical locations. So we have two locations here in the United States, about 400,000 square feet, where we operate and store products for e-commerce brands. Anything from apparel and footwear to hot sauce and supplements and baby products can be at our warehouses at any given time. So we store product and then we fulfill orders as those orders come in from wherever in the world, whether it's on a website, whether it's on Amazon or Walmart or Target. Those orders can potentially roll through our world, and we will pick and pack those and get them out the door for our customers. So the second piece is we offer digital support and technical integration. So one of the biggest things that a brand has to deal with when launching is connecting their inventory and their stores to Shopify or to another website that they may use, right? And we connect that technology for them. So when an order comes in through Squarespace or Shopify or WooCommerce, it comes into our world. And then our team picks and packs that order for you, Claire, down the street. We put a label on it, put it in a box, put a nice bow on it if the customer wants that, and send it out to them so that they get their special package. And there's a lot of technology that goes in between that, which carrier to use, which service level to use, and a lot of those things in between. And so we connect the digital infrastructure between all of those different selling channels to make sure everything flows smoothly so the customer has a great experience.
Yeah.
They just bought something online and they'd like to receive it pretty quickly. So we help support that. And finally, I'll touch on is our last third kind of pillar of services is professional services. So every one of our customers gets a head of operations dedicated to their account that is willing and able to work with them at different levels of their business. They can be fully integrated on a day-to-day basis where they're helping with inventory planning, demand planning, booking freight, to customer service and support and editing orders and changing orders. And so you feel really connected to the brand as connected to ShipCom. And I like to look at it as you kind of have your mini ops team every single day, kind of moving the gears and working the flow and making sure that orders get out on time, and updating you if inventory changes and things of that nature to kind of keep the business flowing. Because our goal is, let the Dennises of the world, the creators, the visionaries, go sell, go grow the brand, go have fun. Let us take care of all the labels and the boxes and putting things out the door for you, and we can handle that stuff so that you can focus on the sales and marketing and building the brand.
It's so interesting and fascinating to hear you talk about um, just all of the circuitry that exists, right? Like the undercurrent of activity and choices and connection points that have to happen for me to click a button on my screen on defathletic.com and then receive that box at my door and have a great experience at opening it up. I remember, Dennis, when you shared that you had found the perfect partner in ShipCalm, and even just the name, the idea of, creating a calmer, more streamlined experience. It just felt like such a glove fit with Def Athletic. Dennis and Brandon, can you share more about how this partnership came to be, how you found each other, and started working in the business in this way?
Yeah, for sure. And again, Brandon, thanks for being here. We appreciate your time and sharing your expertise with us. So I'm not sure exactly when it was in the process that I came to this realization that we've got the creative, we have the idea, we have the creative stuff happening. We found what I believe is a great partner in Lefty to do the production. And I hadn't really thought about, okay, how does all the fulfillment stuff going to work? And it was really kind of a scary realization. And there was some conversation and thought about like trying, especially initially when, things are going to be, volumes are understandably probably going to be pretty low and slow, maybe trying to do it myself or with help from family. And the more I thought about it, you just heard all the things that Brandon described that ShipCalm does. I don't know how to do any of those things. And honestly, I don't have any interest in learning how to do those things. It's not really the best use of my time. And, Brandon, touched on that as well. So then came this, okay, so how do I find somebody to help? And Lefty Production actually made a recommendation and introduced us to ShipCalm. And that relationship developed pretty quickly. I trusted, it was Kyla Sayer, who made the recommendation. And I reached out on the website to Kate Salvador, I think was the first person I talked to, and then very quickly Brandon and I had a conversation. But so that recommendation from Lefty obviously was pretty important, but I also did some research as I was reaching out to ShipCalm, some other companies that claim to do the same thing as ShipCalm. And the more I leaned into that research, the more comfortable I became with ShipCalm. And part of it was that, what Brandon has expressed is this ability to provide all of the things that I was going to be needing, and being able to scale as the business grew. But there was also, again, this just sort of feeling of feeling welcome, and that, hey, it's okay to be a startup, that we know your volumes are low, and we actually have a program for people that are just getting started. And then the moment of truth is when you actually get to meet people. And Especially with Brandon, I feel like we made a personal connection in addition to him sort of calming, no pun intended, calming my concerns about, would you even be willing to do business with me? And can you do all the things that I need done, especially given we're so small, and will you be able to scale if and when we grow? So yeah, that's kind of the story. And it's been great. We still have a lot of work to do to actually, get set up, but I'm not worried. And the other uh, cool thing is that Brandon and one of their warehouses is in Indianapolis, just north of Columbus, Indiana, where I spent my 30-year career at Cummins. And I'll actually be driving down there in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to get to meet Brandon face to face, tour the warehouse, maybe have a meal together, and it'd be nice. So that's it.
That's amazing. I mean, it makes me think about some maybe less obvious connection points between a performance wear brand like Def Athletic and a fulfillment and inventory and warehousing company like ShipCalm on the surface doing very different things. But what strikes me is, both of these enterprises were founded on the idea that there's a problem to solve, that there's a gap in the market, that there's a better way to do uh, a service. And by having that startup focused program, Brandon, it sounds like you're creating a gateway for new to the world brands that are disrupting or creating connection or opportunity where others aren't. You're creating the runway for them to take off and be able to ship product globally and figure out complex inventory challenges. And it sounds like in doing research, other companies that offer or claim to offer what ShipCom does um, might have blockades for smaller brands like Def Athletic to kind of break through and get the support that they need. So it's really inspiring to hear that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, so ShipCom was founded by entrepreneurs, our current CEO, Greg Mosier, who himself was a e-commerce brand owner, had
Mm.
multiple brands, and was running into the same challenges that people run into today with trying to get a brand up and going, and having that trust and having that visibility really into your business, because at the end of the day, Dennis is going to give us all of his inventory, the investment that he put into it, the dollars that he put into the physical actual investment is going to be sitting with some not strangers anymore, but people that are going to be moving that stuff for them. And you have to have that visibility and that trust to do that. And also, the startup scene, and we'll get into this a little bit, we don't work with every new startup. We have a program for it, but there has to be also a fit and a match for us too. We definitely have um, kind of our own questions and our own asks and our interview process, which I've gone through with Dennis for quite a few times, and Kate as well, is kind of that first entry to that interview process to see if it's a fit for us too. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of startups that are kind of going through the motions with their brand and aren't sure the commitment level, not only just time and energy and effort, but monetarily, and being willing to invest in the business and know that there's going to be either it could scale right away, but there could be some times where it takes a little bit of runway to get going. And when you have that clear vision and you understand that that's what you're getting into, it's easier for us to partner with you, because we don't become a cost center at that point. We're actually your true partner, because you understand the commitment level that we're putting into the business too, because we have staffing and warehouse and labor, and we have a lot of investment into this as well. And so when those two things are aligned, it makes the decision to work together a lot easier. And that's why we choose to work with brands like Def Athletic and Dennis, because they have that same commitment level. And I could figure that out right away on a call with Dennis, is like, hey, he's all in on this, we're going to be all in with him as well. And that's where the synergy works, because we're going to go through some challenges. It's nice and calm right now because we haven't started shipping anything. but it's going to get crazy and chaotic. We all hope, right? Because that's a good thing. But the times that you go through those challenges is what separates the partnership. And knowing that, that he's committed to this and in it for the long run makes it a much easier decision for us to invest with him as well, because that's what it truly is, an investment of time and money, and for both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I,
so interesting. And thanks for kind of bringing us on the inside of what that process is like for ShipCalm. Thinking about potential partnerships with startups. I know that Def Athletic is so sharply positioned and defined. And Dennis, you've always had such a clear vision of what this can be to start and how it can expand and evolve into the future. And the huge market and community need there is for deaf athletics. So it sounds like when you and Brandon spoke, that vision was shared and it became a really obvious fit.
yeah, it's these are great points because it's one thing to have you have this idea that you think is pretty special and you want to bring it to life. And at some point you realize that you can't do it by yourself because there's so many things you don't know, you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the expertise. But there's people out there that can do it. And frankly, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of, Claire, with all respect, there's a lot of Claires out there and Waltz who can do creative stuff and design. There's a lot of, companies that can do production. There's other companies that can do, there's other 3PLs out there. And at least for me, my experience is what has fortunately been with, with both Lefty and with ShipCalm that something deeper happened that very quickly established trust and made me feel comfortable to um, made me comfortable sharing a really important part of the system that needs to be in place to make this brand come alive with ShipCalm. And I know there's going to be bumps in the road. But if you have trust at the beginning, then I think it enables you to have those tougher conversations when they come up invariably, and you work through them. So I am calm right now, but more importantly, I feel confident that this is going to work. It's going to be a mutually beneficial relationship, and I feel valued and fortunate that I sort of made the cut with ShipCom, and I'm on the roster, so it's a cool feeling. But and it frankly helps to validate our business too. When we have a company like ShipCom that's saying, "Hey, we got you. We're gonna and you can we can convey to our customers," then Lefty can convey to our customers that they're going to be taken care of, which is a really good feeling.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves in that, in the sense that we're the fulfillment company behind the scenes. And when orders don't arrive on time, and when orders don't go out right, we've all ordered something and it's probably not come to us in the best maybe condition potentially. Um, and it's gotten there late when it was supposed to deliver at a certain time. Those things affect the brand. They don't affect ShipCom, and I'm openly aware of that, and so is our entire staff and our entire company. And the only way we can help service you and continue your growth is to execute flawlessly and to ship on time and to ship fulfilled right, accurately, and make sure that your customers have an amazing experience. Because when your customers have an amazing experience, then they're going to come back and they're going to spread the word. And what does that mean? That just means more goodness for Dennis and Def, but also for ShipCom. And when we look at the business together holistically like that, that's what makes it makes it really, really cool. And ShipCom does take very much pride in our on-time fulfillment and making sure orders go out accurately, because we know the impact that it has on a brand. And so I'm just as thankful that Dennis is trusting us with his baby in his world as much as that he's thankful that we're working and trusting him that he's going to grow this too. So that's where it's pretty cool. And like he's hit on, we've kind of had some good synergy and great, I would say great synergy from jump. And it's been fun. And we're looking forward to, continuing to grow this together.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's so insightful, and I love how kind of self-aware it is that you, Brandon, you just shared the idea of kind of being an extension, a steward, a representation of a brand when you are handling the very important process of shipping something to someone's door, and that you really are representing the Deaf Athletic brand experience. And I think it makes us all think of those moments when you've had a great interaction and you're like, oh my gosh, that was easy. It's here. How wonderful. Great unboxing experience. If something's not right and it needs to go back or be replaced, it's easy and intuitive to do. And then we've also all had those those experiences that
Yeah.
don't go so beautifully. And it does tend to kind of tarnish your impression of a brand and might impact your likelihood of returning to that brand and being a loyalist or not. So it's so refreshing to hear you talk about that in the way that you are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We have a saying that runs through the whole organization, and I couldn't be more closer to the truth, is every order is the most important order to somebody. So
Mm,
someone is getting, that's their order. That is the most important order for them, regardless of the 10,000 orders that went out the day. There's that each one of them someone bought, and it's important to them, regardless of the time of year or whatever they, and that's what we bring up and down through our organization. So, and I won't take credit for that. That's our CEO, Greg Moser, who coined that phrase. But I love it. And it's great that it runs through our company. So,
I love it too. And it's the idea that that order is the tank you're going to run in every single morning, or the hat you're going to send to your best friend on their birthday. The objects inside are so
yep,
important to someone. So
absolutely.
love that. Well, it's 3/3. It's World Hearing Day. It's the launch day for Deaf Athletic, and it's a celebration in every sense. And I think today makes us all think about the community that we are out to serve and better connect and keep expanding, really serving athletes who identify as deaf and hard of hearing, and by the way, everybody else too. We really believe that this is a brand for all, and today I think really represents that. So I just want to thank you, Brandon, for getting together with Dennis and myself and celebrating this incredible new brand, incredible new partnership, and starting to share it with the world.
Yeah, excited. Today is a beautiful day to launch. It's amazing. We're incredibly grateful to be part of it. One of our core values at ShipCalm is humanity, and seeing the world through other people's eyes. And we have a saying, I am because we are within our company as well. And I think that there couldn't be more alignment between the two brands and what Dennis is doing, what everybody's doing here at Def Athletic. And we're excited to be part of that. And, congratulations on getting here so far, Dennis. I'm sure it's been a long path, except for besides the 4 to 5 months we've been together. I'm sure this is a long time in coming. So I wish you all the nothing but success, and we're just happy to fulfill some orders and be your partner for this ride. So thank you for having me today, Claire, and I appreciate both of you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Brandon. And yeah, the best is yet to come, hopefully. And I'll look forward to seeing you in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. That's right. I'll take dinner's on me. I got you. So I'll take you to
All
some,
right.
and then the warehouse. I'm excited to show you the warehouse. It's until you step into it, you don't realize how kind of cool, but also like, whoa. And so I'm excited to show you, what that's going to look like. So
All
very
right.
cool.
Good
Love
deal.
it.
Good deal. Thank you also again, Claire, for guiding through
Absolutely.
the conversation.
Yeah, honored to be here and Brandon to meet you and have fun on that Midwest meetup. That sounds great. All
Will
right.
do.
Thank you both. See you
All
All
soon.
right.
right, thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.